on its business. That is the position, our own position as the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya.
Right. On Hongera, Senate Speaker, your action was not only timely, but long overdue on arrogant governors. Please go ahead with the remaining formalities. We all support devolution, but not arrogance.
That's correct.
And there's someone else who's asked you to investigate the Tana County governor. There's several, actually, who are asking for
no, you need to read those ones so that Mutegi does not think and Makali are just witch hunting.
Okay, actually, let me come to you, because at the start of the program, we talked about the Supremacy Wars, you know, the Parliament ganging up against governors. And there seemed to be a very clear divide between you two.
Yes.
Mutegi, you seem to agree with Parliament's
yeah,
action.
yes.
David seemed to oppose that. Why?
My view is this.
But maybe before then, if you just allow me, that people were asking that we investigate the governors. That's not our job, for your information. Yeah. The impeachment is by the county assembly. Right. The financial issues are by the Control of Budget and the Auditor General and CRA.
Okay. Mutegi, why are you so supportive of the Senate Speaker?
I'm not supportive of the Senate Speaker. Even before the Senate Speaker came, we had an argument with David Makali. Me saying this, that the fact that governors are being tamed, that does not mean killing devolution. The only way that you can kill devolution is when you reduce the finances so that they have nothing to operate on. But when you
there has been talk about that, of going back to 15%.
Yeah, they are proposing that.
Right.
But I'm saying this, you cannot devolve dictatorship to the counties. If we hate, we dislike Moi because he was a dictator, we stripped his power, or the president for that matter, a strong president, then we are not going to the counties and give a strong and accountable governor. That's wrong. So when you have this, the senator, the women representative, form this board to manage him, or her for that matter, that's proper. That's
my difference with the
decentralized responsibility.
My difference with the Mutegi is that the constitution is very clear that there are two levels of government, the national government and the county government. They are distinct and independent to a certain extent. Each of those institutions' executives needs to have leg room to operate, flexibility, not to be choked, strangled to the point where they cannot perform. Now, from
what you are saying is the board will strangle them.
From actually, he allowed you to speak. Let him finish.
From below, because the MCAs are ravenous, they want things, and they're exacting a lot of pressure on the governors who are succumbing and performing illegal things, illegalities, which might land them in trouble. And then from the top now, which we want to introduce in the form of the county board, development board, it's a good thing. But my advice is that the MPs should not be too enthusiastic in strangling the governors. They should provide for a mechanism that does not make it impossible for governors to operate.
I think,
but my biggest contention with regard to the war between the governors, if I may call it one, senators, speakers, people, is that I am concerned about the principle of justice and the right to fair trial. That at what point should somebody, if they feel aggrieved that this process has run, because there will be processes which are completely kangaroo, which run from the county assembly and rush up, and there's a point at which somebody feeling aggrieved should go to court and seek relief. What I've heard here from the speaker is that that relief is not forthcoming. As soon as your name lands before the county assembly and you're impeached, the process runs. There is no other intervention, no other remedy except to wait for the aftermath of your impeachment, which becomes again a cyclic process, because if the courts find that there was a procedural, there was something unprocedural in the impeachment, the country will be going around in circles and wasting time and resources. That is the point at which I have reservations about the process with regard to Ambora.
Okay, I'll tie those in with some concerns here from our viewers. Tina and Marsabit, indeed it would be okay to have some oversight body, because it's the majority of the country assembly members are not capacitated to interrogate issues, development or otherwise. Sure. Then we have governors who seem to be demigods. In my opinion, we need sobriety and wisdom at this time. And these two characteristics are alien to Kenyan leaders. Why can't the Senate think
Except
through...
the Senate.
Why can't the Senate think through the suggested board, its composition, and all else, instead of looking like guns for hire? We need real issues to be addressed, not public contests. So a bit of the middle ground there. But Tom in Mombasa, actually this is not a matter of checks and balances on how the county funds are being accounted for, but simply a matter of how the Senate can also have a share of the funds. Their pressure will cool down once they come up with an agreement, just blindfolding the taxpayer. So Tom's point is really that you're trying to, you know, get your turn to eat, as it were.
That's what the Standard is saying this morning.
And I don't know where Tom has gotten that information, from where I see it.
Well, that could also be applied to you wanting to create more committees and the allowances that you'll get from sitting, you know, as you go about your work.
That's a bit too much. I don't think we are creating work for ourselves. Actually, people are overstretched. You remember last time on this impeachment, because of this time deadline, tight deadlines, people are burning the midnight oil literally. But let me enter the fray of the two gentlemen here with me. You know, Mutegi agrees with me, except I want to disagree with him that the board is supposed to manage and tame the governor. We are not, and I think that's why maybe Makali is disagreeing with him and is proposing the leg room. Actually, we are not taming the governor. The role of the governor is very clear. He has 101 things to do. All the board is trying to assist the governor is that, Mr. Governor, you are not the only player of development in the county. There are many other players. In fact, I would imagine this board at some stage would be inviting NGOs which are doing development in that particular place, even civil society, if they have issues to raise about the governance. You know, this is a forum really for the political leadership of the county to come together so that we can manage even if there are differences. It has nothing with taking away the responsibilities of the governor. The governor will still come with the budget. The governor will still implement the budget. The governor will still be subject to the county assembly, because the board will not be meeting every month or a daily basis. They will agree on some number of meetings per annum. And I think this is very good for corporate governance in a nation. So they will have the legwork. We will not micromanage them. But to me, it is important that all those other players in the county actually get a forum. And why Senate is an issue here? Because the Senate has a certain responsibility. And I think there was that Marsabit. I think he captured. She captured, Tina. She captured really the essence of what we are trying to do as a Senate. That while I appreciate Makali's concern that, you know, you don't want to run away with this, it might mean maybe we're chanting this. I mean, those are legitimate fears which we will guard against. But in terms of ensuring that operations are normalized, things are done, and that there is more resources actually going to the development. Because 5 years down the road, if Kenyans see that the devolution has not worked, they will be up in arms. You have already seen people street demos on this or that, or, you know, we need to harmonize these things. Because really, this is devolutions consolidating the 50 years of our independence in terms of the gains and taking them forward to the higher level.
I'll jump in because we're running out of time and you've got to go to Parliament. Cheche, David in Kisumu puts it a bit more plainly. The big issue here is that MPs have CDF, governors have a kitty from the national government, and senators have none. That is the pain that brings acrimony between them.
That is just plainly wrong. Because, I mean, where is even this argument coming from? Impeachment, I have said, was brought from the county assembly, correctly and properly by law, and we did what we are supposed to do. Summons, inviting governors to explain, is as generated, a report generated by the control of budget. Senate did not generate the report.
But it's not possible that a senator can organize for the county assemblies to disorganize the governor. A senator can do that.
That will be politics now.
Yeah.
But it's also possible for the governor to organize a county assembly.
The country disorganize the senator.
It's also possible for the speaker to organize a county assembly. It's also possible for the other opponents of the governor to organize whoever needs to be organized. So now that is outside. Yes.
Okay. Well, we're winding up now. David, are you convinced by the speaker's arguments on Cheche this morning?
I go home with very serious doubts about the legislature's respect for separation of powers, and more importantly, the independence of the judiciary, which has come under a lot of assault from the legislature. I think there has to be accommodation. The Senate or Parliament cannot purport to be the only representative of the people, because when people go to court, the courts represent those people when they issue certain orders. So I think there has to be a balance on this, checks and balances. The legislature must accept to be checked.
Right. Hon.Ekwe, what do you think?
I think the best way is what they did yesterday. Consult, discuss, have consultation, and have respect for one another. Because if they have those kind of meetings, that's the way forward. In all areas, including the executive, judiciary, and both houses of parliament. Right. They need consultation and respect for each other.
Right, that's been in short supply. Sir, your closing remarks and responses, if any, to David and Mutegi's comments.
I want to persuade Makali that as he goes home, before he steps to the door of his house, that Parliament has utmost respect for the independence of the judiciary. The issue in contest is whether parliamentary processes can be injected. There's an understanding, there's an agreement that that cannot happen. And so I don't think the issue of summons should be translated to mean that we don't respect the judiciary. We do. Just because certain members of both houses can say this or that, that's not the considered opinion of the House. Those are opinions.
Isn't it there are matters in court which the Parliament has said they are not going to send. They are not going to send lawyers there.
That is true, because there is what you call contested jurisdiction. And by the way, Makali needs to appreciate that when Parliament is acting in some of these situations, when committees of the House summon governors or summon Makali, and you'll allow me just to use you, because we share the first name. They have the powers of the High Court itself. So now you start appreciating, you know, if we are a High Court, then there is another High Court. In terms of the legislative agenda, I am not saying, I mean, if the Parliamentary Service Commission has something to do with tenders and the rest, we will be subject to court. There is no problem about that one. So let's not give a blanket understanding that Parliament is saying we don't recognize the judiciary. We do. And that's why I think Mr. Mutegi has picked it. We approach the Chief Justice and say, I think our people, the way Mr. Makali calls my senators my people, do not seem to, the Parliament and judiciary, what common understanding can we have around certain provisions of the Constitution? Then that way it will help all parties to be able to prosecute whatever issues that come before them with utmost respect to the independence and the doctrine of separation of powers. And you can even look at the commentators, even the same lawyers, they don't agree on this matter. Others will say this, but I think there is a more concurrence, at least on the side of Parliament. Yeah.
Okay, so those are your final thoughts.
Those are my final thoughts. I want to assure the public that Kenya is as they determined in the Constitution, is a robust democracy. And so sometimes maybe our volumes are a bit too high, but
devolution will survive.
And devolution will definitely survive. In fact,
the guardian.
Yes, we are the guardian angel, but we are on record as the Senate that we are the guardian angel of devolution. We are not talking about structures of devolution. We are not destroying structures of devolution. What we are saying, there might be some issues around certain individuals, and I'm on record on that. what we are actually seeing by the Senate, and I'm actually surprised, I think people need to appreciate these things. I'm actually surprised that when now the institutions that we created to respond to certain crises, like the one of impeachment, have actually risen to the occasion. You should be a very happy country that you have actually an institution like the Senate that has provided those layers, you know, the justice point that he was concerned about. Actually, what we are also doing here are those ensuring justice by the checks and balance. You impeach at the county level, you come to the plenary, the committee submitting the allegations, the impeachment again is done by the entire plenary. And the senators could as well have decided in their collective wisdom that what these allegations are not, we don't agree with the committee report, and voted the other way. So these are new things. My only understanding is that I know all of us are grappling. You know, the Constitution is also a very big document. So unless you are charged with the responsibility of implementing it, you may not appreciate all the articles in the Constitution.
Okay. Well, our time is up, and so we'll thank you for your time on Cheche this morning. You have to rush off to open the Senate, but we thank you. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Our thanks also to panelists Mutegi Njau and David Makali. You've been watching Cheche on Citizen TV. We're back next week. I'm Udo Kamimo. Enjoy the rest of your week.